Lord with the CBC News at noon. Lawmen are today searching for a man who attacked a police officer last night close to the District A police station in Station Hill, St. Michael. That incident occurred around 9 o'clock as the officer was making his way to work. He received a stab wound to his left side. The officer was rushed to the hospital by other lawmen, treated and discharged, and will have more details on that investigation as they come to hand. Well, police are meantime seeking the public's assistance in locating a woman from St. James. Missing is 20-year-old Michaela Vanessa Hunt of Hoyts Village. On Tuesday, February 23rd, she left home to go to a nearby resident and has not been seen or heard from since. At that time, she was wearing a blue vest and black tights. Michaela is 5 feet 4 inches tall, has a slim build and a brown complexion. Her hair is black, straightened and styled in one. She has a birthmark on her left leg and a scar on her left thigh. She habitually bites her nails, and anyone with information relative to the whereabouts of Michaela Hunt is asked to contact police emergency at 211 or call the nearest police station. Well, in related news, a human rights advisor has weighed in on the numerous cases of secondary school girls who go missing for days and sometimes even weeks. Felicia Brown of the Caribbean Mentorship Institute is advising the public to cut the girls some slack and instead examine the root cause of the problem. Reports confirm that there have been 11 missing girl reports already this year, the oldest being 15 years old. Ms. Brown says Barbadians should be concerned about the girls' home environments, which may be forcing them to seek refuge elsewhere. She believes that those in the girls' households, as well as those who harbor them temporarily, must be examined closely to ensure that they are not violating any of the girls' human rights.
Ensure that they feel comfortable enough to speak to someone about it. And so in those kinds of incidences where we find where persons may harbor those young girls, those individuals must also know their rights. They have to recognize that they're violating the rights of young persons. And if those children are underage, it is also not only a legal but also a moral obligation to ensure that those children's families are notified.
The human rights advocate also says a girl should not be discriminated against because of what some consider unruly or delinquent behavior. She instead suggested that school children be offered a positive environment to socialize with friends outside of school to avoid seeking amusement elsewhere.
So we cannot be continuously placing blame on minors. They're young persons. Their level of understanding of the harms that may project to them, they may not be aware of that. And there are many times where we discriminate against young persons and children, particularly young women. And we also as a society have to recognize that in some instances, young girls go missing and some of them never return. And so we have to take those matters very seriously.
Well, school has resumed for students of the Lawrence T. Gay Memorial, but not at the Spooners Hill St. Michael institution. That facility remains closed due to environmental concerns which the Education Ministry is trying to resolve. As a result, Lawrence T. Gay students have been relocated to 2 churches. Class 1s and 2s are now attending classes at the Ann Gill Memorial Church at Fairfield, Black Rock. The Class 3s and 4s are housed at the Breath of Life Seventh-day Adventist Church in Whitehall, St. Michael. Now, provisions for transportation have been made for the Class 1s and 2s. They will be taken to and from the Ann Gill Church. Meantime, later this week, maybe as early as tomorrow, a location could be announced for the resumption of classes for the infants. Well, there is the possibility that more lots will be allocated for squatters. And word of this has come from the Minister of Housing and Land, Dennis Kelman. He was speaking to the media yesterday after touring exhibits at AgroFest.
Still have to bring them up to 500, so we will look to see where we can find the land that allow us to have the 500. We might have used some in some of our housing programs, but the cabinet decision is for 500, and they might even seek to increase that 500 in light of everything that has been said.
Mr. Kalman also spoke about the units at Dalkeith Woods. While he did not say when they would be occupied, he is hoping that the issue will be discussed by the cabinet this week.
I know that the press had had a field day about how they have been there for a long time, but unlike other people who rush and make decisions, we have to ensure that when we make a decision, it's the right decision, and we have to take the economic times into consideration, and we have to ensure that we do not burden poor people with something that they cannot afford to maintain.
Transport and Works Minister Michael Lashley has rolled out a multi-million-dollar plan to fix roads across Barbados this year. He says so far $30 million is slated to fix roads, with $10 million to be made available in weeks and another $20 million coming online in August. According to him, the money is part of loans secured from CAF, which is the Latin American Development Bank.
In the next couple of weeks, Parliament and Cabinet, they have agreed to $10 million US. In fact, I believe that very shortly we should be able to access that money, particularly in the road program, to repair roads in Barbados. They have agreed to it.
Speaking at a DLP branch meeting in St. Michael West, Minister Lashley also revealed that his ministry is still considering the wider use of concrete roads on the island.
There's a view that concrete roads last longer than asphalt. There's another view that the concrete roads have tremendous wear and tear on people's vehicles. And there's another view that the upfront cost of the concrete is more than the asphalt. But that is something that the ministry officials that we are studying, and as soon as we get full analysis, we will ensure that we do what is best for the country.
We'll have regional and international stories right after the break.